I never thought that this would be the most difficult video I've ever had to make. This is like my 6th try. So not good at this. Need to start writing scripts or something, but it kind of defeats the purpose of venting, I guess. Therapy is getting expensive, so I'm gonna turn to you guys. Sorry if you don't want to hear it. If you don't, you can click off, I won't mind. But maybe it'll give someone comfort in hearing someone else's problems. I was always like that for some reason. It was weird. I could just listen to someone else talk for hours about their problems, what they're going through, and it almost made me feel better. Not obviously like I'm doing better, but like made me feel better that there's solidarity in our struggles together. It was nice, but it doesn't have anything to do with this. People probably just kind of get annoyed at it. But, I don't know. As you can tell, I've had a rough night. I've spent the last couple months crying every day. Every single day. I cry. And I don't really understand why. I just kind of do it. And at the point, I just got tired. Decided to get up and walk over to my computer and talk until I stopped crying. So, here I am. I don't even know where to begin. My mom, my dad, fuck. It's where everyone starts. It's where I started in therapy. Again, therapy has become so expensive that it feels good to just do something for free and not have to shell out all of my money to a shrink, hoping that they'll understand me in some way. And they are good. I would actually recommend therapy to anybody who can get into it. Truly, it changed my perspective on everything, and it's probably why I'm so comfortable doing this. Well, in quotation marks, I don't think I'm super comfortable. I'm still kind of nervous. Embarrassment has been one of the biggest things that I've tried to overcome as an adult. I'm 21, and embarrassment and anxiety are at the forefront of my mind all the time. I don't want to embarrass myself. I mean, I get so anxious that I worry, and I just hope that no one judges me, but I just don't care. I don't care. I mean, I've spent all my life caring about being judged that at this point it's the least of my worries. Like, I think so many worse things could happen to me. And in my life, there's probably been significantly worse things than just being judged or getting embarrassed. My mom is a bipolar schizophrenic, recovering alcoholic, and drug addict. You know, the works. My dad was also a recovering drug addict, and I kind of think he was bipolar, or just like super, super autistic. I don't know, but he was super abusive to my mom. Like, would beat her, call her awful, awful names, would just make fun of her and mock her disabilities, and it is miserable. I mean, to anybody who's had to go through that, I sympathize. I mean, I've been there, so I understand. What else? I don't know. That, I guess, affected me. Like, it's kind of a fucking layup. It affected me. Obviously, I think I probably wouldn't be here ranting and raving about this if I wasn't affected in some way. Everyone's affected by their parents. It just took me a while to figure out how they affected me. I think the way they loved each other in such a toxic relationship kind of fucked me up. I've really, really struggled to love or be loved or feel like I can be loved. I think that's kind of where most of my problems stem, actually, is this feeling of being unlovable. I don't know how many people go through it, but personally, I like feel it every day. Like, I just have nothing worth being loved for. Like I just don't have any desirable traits. is kind of miserable to think that way. And I don't suggest anyone to fall into that sort of thought trap, because personally, I love you, whoever is watching, whoever isn't watching, everyone. I, from the bottom of my heart, I love everyone, even the people who are wrong, like most of the time. Like my dad, I love him, even if that's really hard to say, because he's been terrible. I think around November of 2020? No, it was a little bit later, maybe 2021. Me and my dad just kind of fell out. We weren't close anymore, and I think I just kind of started to develop the cognitive ability to realize how shitty he was, and I started growing closer with my mom, and diving deep into that world of abuse and trauma, and watching it destroy my mom mentally to the point of complete, total breakdown. I mean, it's like, I don't know, sometimes I'm scared I'm looking in a mirror, but you just keep trying. After me and my dad fell out, he kind of figured that things were getting tense in the house, and he probably didn't have anywhere else to go, so he would lash out, and I tried not to subjugate him to any embarrassment, because I knew what that feeling was like, but I guess you can't really do much about it. I wanted to love him. I tried to be supportive, and I tried, but there's only so much you can do for someone like that, until they eventually just give up, stop trying. It's heartbreaking, watching someone you love completely fall apart from who they were. I've experienced that with both of my parents. I'm now no longer close with them. I live states and states away from my mom and my dad. I don't even know anything about. I've just cut contact. Recently my mom was admitted to the ICU, where she laid on a bed. She stopped eating, she stopped drinking, she stopped trying, and I feel so responsible because I wasn't there. And she has other people, she has other kids, but it's still this almost survivor's guilt of just feeling like I could have done more, like I could have helped. I don't know. It was misery. Watching those texts roll in, I couldn't even talk to her. I couldn't even get any information on what was wrong with her. I had to learn through my grandma, who I don't like, and who my mom doesn't really like, because she was also abusive to my mom, pretty much tell me everything, and I don't know. It was like watching it all through a misty glass pane. Like, I can't really make out what's going on, what's true, what's not true. I don't know. It was a lot. I think it's probably partially why I've been so distressed recently. After she moved, or I guess after I moved out from her house, she decided that she would go somewhere where she had more people who could support her, and I was super for that decision. I mean, I was all in. I couldn't really support her at the time. From 16 years old to, like 20-something years old. Not 20-something, literally 20. Just 20. From 16 to 20, I worked full-time at a McDonald's, busting my ass just to pay bills for us, until it just wasn't feasible and my car broke down and I wasn't able to go anywhere or do anything. Man, it was crazy walking to work every day, trying, and then getting driven 20 minutes just to go pay my mom's rent for a place I wasn't living at. I mean, even our landlord was a dick, which is no surprise. It's a fucking landlord. It was soul-crushing. And I think that's probably where a lot of this stems from, is that I've just been trying so hard every day. I don't know. You get to a point where you're tired of trying, but you just keep going. That's what I did for fucking years. Then I just couldn't do it anymore, and she had to move. I had to officially move out of my house with her and get all my stuff, and it was like a goodbye. And leaving her was like, it's like I killed her. I didn't know what else to do, though. Everyone told me it was the right decision. I needed to focus on myself. I can't help anyone if I don't get better. So I did. I abandoned all family responsibilities and fled. Hoping, dreaming that I would be this lawyer and I would make my family so proud, because I'd be the first child to go into college and get a degree and get like a real career. But that didn't work out. Like I said, my car broke down. Continue going to college after I graduated, so I had to stop. And even then, when I was going, I was so anxious and so depressed. I had just gotten dumped, and that was a 4.5-year relationship, just kind of gone out of nowhere for me. It was one of the worst breakups I'd ever dealt with. With that and all of the other factors, it was no surprise. I could barely keep up. I did all right in school, but I sometimes just couldn't show up. I just wasn't happy. I was scared, and I felt ostracized, and I don't know. I just always felt different. I think that kind of stems from this neurodivergency that has been hidden most of my life. It took me a while to figure it out, but kind of came to the terms with the fact that I'm a high-functioning autistic. Talked to my therapist and psychiatrist a lot about it, and yeah, I mean, once I learned what masking was, and when I kind of put the pieces together and figured out that I had been masking my whole life, protecting myself, putting on an act just to please people, to be desired, and I kept doing that until I don't even know. I don't even know if I have officially stopped masking. I feel like it's just a natural part of me now. I can't do anything, even though I'm so self-aware, which is like 99% of my problems. That realization changed me, and I don't know, it puts a lot more things into perspective, I guess. What else? I struggled with substance abuse for a really long time, mostly marijuana, and it was great. I mean, I'm not even gonna act like I didn't love it. It was amazing, every second of it. Well, not every second. I have greened out and taken way too much before, but besides that, I mean, I enjoyed it a lot until I lost myself, and I was always high and always in this brain fog where I could just barely function. And eventually it took a lot, but I'm clean for the most part now. I also used to vape a lot. I guess I can't say used to. I actually have a vape in my hands because it's been kind of a fucked up night. So it's unfortunate. It's been a week, and no. A week is actually probably how long I've been clean from weed. Might be a month now where I haven't been consistently vaping, which is incredible. I mean, I felt my lungs clear up. I feel lighter and less anxious and happier. Like, to not be dictated by substances is everything. I just wanted my autonomy back. I wanted to learn how to drop the mask and be myself. I think that's kind of where a lot of it comes from, is just me wanting to be myself. I get so embarrassed of myself. I feel like I'm too much for people. I feel like that I talk too much, or I joke too much, or I just am too much. It's kind of sad. Um, but I cope with it however I can, trying to remind myself that I'm not, that I'm just me, and there's nothing wrong with that. But even still to this day, I I cry and get so frustrated when I don't get a text back in a timely manner, or when I feel the energy shift in a conversation, or even when my friends don't talk to me. Um, that's another thing too, is I have had a complicated relationship with my friends. Um, of course, I don't live with my mom, not anymore. I live with my, I guess, childhood best friend. We had known each other since third grade, and he'd always been the guy I'd go over to his house for whenever my parents would argue. Um, they kind of just accepted me, and eventually I broke down here and had to stay here for a bit so I could walk to work. Well, obviously that didn't change. I moved in. The only thing that's different now is that I don't walk to work. Let's fucking go. Let's bump the mic, sorry. Yeah, I saved up and bought my own car. It was awesome. Great. Nice. Little, um, little Honda Civic hybrid. Fucking 2006. It's kind of a banger. I'm really happy with my car. I worked really hard for that, and I felt super rewarded. But when I moved in here, it was completely different. I mean, the shift in environment helped so much. I can't even begin to say how it improved my mood. I clash here and there with my roommate or best friend's family because they're pretty anti-marijuana, and of course, since I struggled with it, you can kind of see where that went. Kind of getting put down for being the pothead when I'm just trying to self-medicate because I'm so anxious and depressed, only to push myself further into anxiety and depression, ironically. Um, I mean, I can say with confidence that's what marijuana does to a degree. If you misuse it, if you self-medicate with it, you will just end up more anxious and miserable than you were when you first started. I can say that just with my chest. I've experienced it. And I mean, I don't want to get anyone upset. I love weed, but you kind of realize that it's not what it was cracked up to be. It was just kind of fun. And that's all I've kept it as, is just fun. I don't want it to get any deeper than that. I experienced it when it was basically my life every day, being high, to just escape, to stop being myself. And it felt so good. Like I said, I can't lie about it. I mean, like, it was euphoric. I've dipped into other drugs too, like acid. Acid, oh my god, was incredible. I mean, like, I can't lie about that either. Acid was awesome. I loved being on acid. It was like euphoric, and it kind of cured my colorblindness almost, which is insane. It didn't actually cure my colorblindness. I could just, like, my eyes picked up the light a lot better, and everything looked so much more vivid. But regardless, those things, they didn't help. They weren't long-term solutions. The only real long-term solution is to talk it out, to keep trying, to rationalize it, and to change my behaviors. And that's what I did, thankfully. I changed. I tried. A lot of it came from a previous partner being kind of uncomfortable with my weed smoking, and that caused me to reflect a lot, to the point where I just decided that I would stop, at least to space it out and to make it more like an event rather than my everyday life. But substances wasn't the only thing. I struggled with my weight. I was self-conscious. I mean, so self-conscious. Like, When I was a freshman, I literally starved myself. I had a crazy eating disorder. I would just throw my food out. I just felt horrible for eating. I, I, I just, I don't know. I couldn't keep up. It just felt like I needed to drop back and wither away. And it worked, unfortunately. I lost so much weight. And then I eventually gained it back, and then lost it again, and then gained it back. And now I'm back, where I am kind of in a healthy middle ground. I'm not super skinny, but I'm not overweight, which is nice. Stress eating was a big thing. I mean, I would just get stressed or kind of depressed. Bars. Sorry. Or, I would just get bored, like straight up bored. And I would just eat and eat and eat. And again, killed me. Literally. Not literally. I don't know why I said literally. But, I mean, I guess literally it was killing me. I had a doctor say that my body was going to shut down after a while. I got diagnosed with pre-diabetes. I mean, it was rough. But I overcame that as well. And the more I talk about it, actually, the more I realize I've kind of overcome a lot. I mean, my parents being who they are, doing what they do, no longer being in my life, and now building everything from the ground up, finding my own family. One of my favorite pieces of media is One Piece, and it's so random, but the reason for that is because one of the major themes is finding your own family. And I think that really resonated with me. I just feel like that I just feel like that idea of finding people who accept you, not because you're their blood, but because they are just infatuated with you and your personality is so beautiful. I love that. It's awesome. I can say with a certain level of confidence that I found my family. Even if they're not perfect. No one is. But I love them. And in my soul, with my whole soul, I love everybody. And I've struggled with that. It feels like sometimes I'm two different people. One time, I love everybody. The other time, I hate everybody. I get so aggravated. I get on the internet and I see all of the people saying these disgusting things. Like, things that are just blatantly terrible, racist, sexist, homophobic. And it's like they're talking about the people I love. They're talking about me. And it makes me feel lesser. It makes them feel lesser. And that definitely destroyed me. The internet is so bad about that. It's showing these polarizing views. It becomes so depressing. But seeing all of that just made me so miserable. So I would go through those phases where I would genuinely feel so much love in my heart for everybody. And then I would get on the internet and I'm like, shit, these people are fucking awful. These people are miserable. The world is broken. Everyone, society, everything is broken. Man, I'm the fucking Joker at this point. Like, just wallowing in my own despair. And then I flip back after my crying session or whatever, where I'm like, wow, the world is so beautiful. I think I use this game as a great example. I just love this. I love everything about this. Like, the fact that this was a thing back in the day, like it was fucking 1800s. But like, this is what the world was like. Not exactly this, but like, we had fucking dinosaurs, prehistoric plants, and all kinds of different animals that we can't even imagine now. Like, it's so cool. I mean, I love learning about space, the ocean. I love learning about anything, everything, society, and like what humanity has done to overcome its struggles, all of the plights that have plagued us. It's so cool and inspiring. I mean, it's so hard to not, I don't know, look at even just like Jesus. I'm not a religious person, but like the story of Jesus, the fact that, you know, there might have been someone who literally died for all of us. I mean, like, that's crazy. I want to believe. I haven't been much of a believer, but I want to. It would be awesome. I mean, it would definitely restore some kind of faith that I had. And I think in my heart, I do believe it. I do believe that there are people out there who would give up everything to give everyone everything. And I don't know. I like to think that I'm one of those people. I would literally take all of the weight in the world for everybody if it meant that everyone was happy, even if I wasn't. Yeah, that feels like such a human phenomenon where you just want to take everything for everyone. You just want to be the punching bag so other people can be free and happy. I want to hope that's at least a human thing and not just me. Oh, just got absolutely devoured by a little pack. How ironic. Let me restart and then I'll go ahead and keep talking. How about we try someone who can fly? That feels nice. A little pterodon action. It's a fun animal. It's probably gonna be difficult for me to talk and, you know, fly at the same time, but I'll get somewhere real quick where I can just sit and chill and hopefully not get absolutely devoured. Let's see if I can land on this. If I land on this, this is fucking huge. I might be the best pterodon player ever. Shit. Shit. Fuck. Shit. Fuck. Shit, fuck, shit, fuck, shit, fuck. I'm gonna die before I can continue to talk. How about we just sit up here? Alright, crash landing, but that's okay. I like being a cute little guy. This feels nice and scenic. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah. It feels like a human feeling to want to take everything. I want to think that that says a lot about me as a person, that I am a good person. Which is another thing that I've struggled with, is thinking that I'm a bad person or a good person, but that gets changed over and over again. The definition of a good or bad person. I mean, morality changes all the time, which is crazy because at the same time it doesn't change. I think it's more the perception of morality that changes. Sometimes we just view certain things moral and other things not moral, obviously. Like, fucking, I don't know, slavery, gay people, anything at all. And that has happened to me, of course, which is another very human experience, is just this change in perspective on right and wrong and everything. And that has been a struggle. I mean, like, I keep saying everything has been a struggle. I mean, shit, life is a struggle, but seriously, I mean, think about it. You go years thinking that something is okay, and then eventually all of these people decide that it's not, and then you have to switch up. You get kind of ostracized a little bit, and you have to either jump in and just, I guess, assimilate with everyone else, or you go against the grain and you become one of those, like, racist, misogynistic, coded people. And it is what it is, I guess. Like, people all have their own paths, but you want them to be on the right side of history. I feel like that has been a desire of mine so heavily, like wanting people to just kind of understand what could be right or what could be wrong, but everyone just kind of shuts that out, and you leave echo chambers behind where people bounce the same opinion off the walls and they never really get anywhere. I've tried to avoid that, and I've done an alright job at doing that. I mean, I used to be a super conservative person. Like, I believed in straight pride. Do you know how crazy that is? I'm bisexual. I'm a bisexual man, and I was like, straight people should have a pride month. You know how fucking stupid that is? That's so fucking brain dead. I mean, like, I can go on for hours about how, I'm gonna say it, about how retarded that sounds. Like, excuse my ableist language. But fuck, that is just straight up retarded, and you eventually come around to that idea of like, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I'm an idiot for thinking these things, but you're not an idiot. You're not a bad person. You're just flawed. You just have a weird perspective, and you just need to shift it. And that is one thing that, I don't know, just was super hard to click with me. But that could be a neurodivergent thing. I don't know. And just the dichotomy between what is moral and immoral becomes, why am I using big words? The comparison between what's moral and immoral honestly becomes kind of useless when you're just arguing to argue. Like, if you're not really taking these things to heart, you aren't changing. And I think that was a pretty big issue for me, as I wouldn't listen to people. But I've gotten better at that as well. My parents, of course, were those people who you could not, absolutely could not tell anything to. Fuck, I used to tell my mom, like, you know that shit where you'd shave and it'd come back thicker? It's not real. It's not true. Because the science teacher told me that. Like, literally a science teacher said that. Just scientifically, that's not how that works, but it's like, it doesn't matter. My mom would just talk about how we had people in our family who were barbers and said otherwise. So, like, people just kind of get caught up in their own thing, and it doesn't matter. But it does matter. Even if it seems like it doesn't. I mean, like, me, I didn't, at the time, think I was being stupid for the straight pride thing, or, like, what's that stupid shit? I don't know if anyone knows what Whiteout Wednesday is. I hope no one knows what Whiteout Wednesday is, but there was that little time where people posted those black squares on Instagram, and some of my friends did a Whiteout Wednesday where they would post a white square on Instagram, and like, it's kind of funny, but you can understand why it's rooted in racism. But for me, I didn't know that at the time. And I was just kind of like, guys, it's a joke. Like, I remember I had a significant other at the time, and she was so upset. She was so mad that I just didn't care that my friends were doing this. And I was like, well, I'm not, I mean, like, I'm not their mom. I'm not gonna fucking discipline them for making a joke on social media, but I can understand why it seemed insensitive. And I think people are so quick to jump up like, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's stupid. You shouldn't. Like, why play into these things? But it's like, why? Why do we get mad at people for wanting to feel right or moral? Like, even if it's the smallest increment of change or anything, why should we put them down? I mean, if you didn't care, just scroll. It's social media, but we get so captivated with it that we have to comment and scream up at the sky and just whine about everything. And I mean, like, I'm sure you could probably try and apply that to the other side, the side that I'm speaking from, but like, some things are worth complaining over. And I've had a lot of time to think on that idea. And I've tried to keep the complaints within myself, but there are some that I like to, I guess, extend to other people because it's better to be informed than not be informed. And I don't know, that that whole situation. I actually got dumped for that, by the way. The Whiteout Wednesday thing, I got dumped for that. My significant other dumped me, and it was a couple months. I think it was like 3 months where we just didn't talk. It was just kind of like whatever, and we got back together and we apologized to each other, and that's how it should be. It's how it should always be. You should realize your own faults and just apologize sincerely without expecting anything in return. I think that's what separates good and bad people. When you make a mistake, you just you try to correct it. I there's a quote I can't recall where it came from, but it's something that really stuck with me, was that good people are just bad people trying to make up for their mistakes. And I like that. I mean, I think that feels good to think about. It feels like there's redemption for everyone. And I think that's kind of what I was getting at with this big, long spiel about morality and stuff and social media, is that I just I just think that there's a way we can come to terms with all of it and work together. Um, I don't know. It's so deeply intertwined in our society that it's difficult to push that idea. I guess I should specify what I'm talking about. Um, this rejection of conversation is so deeply intertwined within our society that it's kind of killing our ability to rationalize things. And I really, really want that to change. I hope it changes. Um, Me saying all this isn't going to change anything, but you never know. God, what else is there? I'm just going off on circles. Um, Other than morality and stuff like that, love. Love. Oh my god, love. Love is something that I have just not been able to grasp. It slips through my fingers. It eludes me at every wake. I just, I can't. I don't know. Maybe it's because of, no, not maybe. It is because of my parents and my family and their toxic, broken form of love pretty much destroying my perception of it. It it's been so difficult to rationalize love. And I think you can't, honestly. I have spent so many days just craving love, wanting to be loved. And it's another very human feeling. And that's because we literally are built to be sustained off of love and personal relations with family and friends and significant others. We are built on love. And unfortunately, my life has lacked a lot of it. And again, that doesn't make me special. That doesn't make me any more harrowing of a, I don't know, character than anyone else. But it's still part of who I am. I can't really deny it. I, I can barely change it. So I might as well acknowledge it and try my best. And that's all I have been able to do. I think maybe that's all people do in general, is just try. It feels like a fruitless endeavor 99% of the time, honestly. I have loved more than I can put into words. I have done things like so ridiculous. Like I've spent all of my money, literally, not all of it, but like the last bits of my money on the person I love the most, like to the point where I have zeros in my bank account, and all it was stuff for Valentine's Day, knowing I wouldn't get paid until a couple days. But I was just, I don't know, I want to say desperate, but I just feel like it's just the deepest form of love. I would give everything for somebody. I've sat after I got dumped on a Snapchat message screen all night, hoping that I would wake up and there would just be a message there from my ex-girlfriend. I would just beg to whatever was listening out there in the universe to just slightly shift our paths so they would cross again. I would hope to God that there would just be a text anywhere. And it has made me do some crazy things. Like, I mean, the Snapchat thing, and just always checking my phone, becoming anxiously attached to it to the point where I'm almost never not on my phone. Like, just seeing if someone's there, looking for signs of life, looking for activity, hoping. And I think this fear of being abandoned took over, and it would make me be irrational, even when I had already been abandoned. Like, it was like, I don't know, it was like I was in a stage of denial. Like, I was just trying, banging my head against a wall, hoping that something would change. And it felt like every night I would have this big revelation, and it was like something's gonna change, and then nothing changed, and then I'm disappointed and upset, and it's like, why did I even raise my expectations? But eventually that love fades, and you're just kind of left by yourself, hoping for love again. That's kind of the stage I'm at. My last relationship was great. I can't even lie. It was amazing. I met her off Tinder, and that sounds ridiculous, but we clicked. We hung out a lot, talked a lot, smoked a lot, but things were so nice. We put our best foot forward on every date, tried our best. Every single time, we would give everything. I mean, we would have things planned and prepped for dinner dates, movie dates, anything. I mean, constantly exchanging gifts, sweet words all the time, constantly back and forth. But regardless, a month in, and she says there's no spark. It feels like there's nothing between us. And in my mind, feels like a lie. Like, how can there be nothing? I put everything I had into this relationship. I gave everything to you, and still, I just lost. I still lost. But I won, honestly. I try not to be too down on myself about it. I think I spent a long time blaming myself, saying that if I just tried harder, if I had done something different, maybe things would have changed. But in reality, I don't think things would have changed. I think things ended exactly how they were supposed to, unfortunately. And I think a lot of things in my life have ended that way, abruptly, without warning, but for the better, unfortunately. I say unfortunately because I want to be happy, and I felt like those were some of my best avenues towards being happy. But I guess the most satisfying avenue is the one you build for yourself. I don't know. I don't know anything, actually. I'm just talking into a microphone to nobody, myself. But it's better than just talking to myself. I've had that issue a lot where I would just talk to myself and I would just wonder why. Like, why am I so unlovable? It feels like I'm broken. It feels like I just can't fit in. I can't be myself and be loved. It's like every day I wished to be a different person, to be someone more lovable. But I guess in reality, I can't change that. I'm just as lovable as I make myself. I think I'm just as lovable as I can love myself. And I don't love myself very much, unfortunately. I wish I did. I think every day I try a little bit harder. And I think people have a skewed perspective on love. It's not just about loving your family or your significant other or your friends. It's a lot about loving yourself. It's impossible to love someone else if you can't love yourself. And I guess that's probably my problem. I am just not incapable, just really prone to being critical of myself to the point where I feel like I hate myself. And I don't know. I think it'll change eventually, one day. And not just magically change. I mean, like I work and make it change. I hope, anyways. I want to try. I think I'm kind of just losing the plot of this now. I should probably just end it off before my pterodon dies. I'll fly it real high up and give her a good send off, since I've kind of done nothing. But it feels nice to talk in front of a camera. It feels nice to say something, even if I'm saying nothing. And it feels nice, I don't know, to have somebody. I wish I had somebody. I think that's kind of why I wanted to make this video so bad, is I wanted to express that. Not just talk about myself and all of these things, but to genuinely express this desire to find somebody. Like, even if it took me going to a different state and trying all over again, I would do it in the hopes that I would find someone that loves me. I would do anything for love. And I think that's probably one of my biggest weaknesses. But that's neither here nor there. I'm gonna crash this bitch real quick so I can stop talking and go to bed, because I took an antipsychotic before this and I feel it hitting like really hard. Really, really hard. Like drunk hard. So yeah, yeah, that's it. I don't know. I guess I thought I would have a better conclusion or a more precise and put together topic, but this is it. This is all I've got. I'm just, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 minutes of me rambling. I guess I'll cut the parts of me crying out and, I don't know, just post it raw. Someone watched this whole thing, genuinely. Thank you. Like, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for listening. I get really annoyed with my voice, and I'm really not excited to edit this, but it's super nice to potentially have somebody. I want people to use this video as a safe space, not just for me to vent, but for everyone. Oh, there he goes. I mean that, though. Truly, I want this video to be a place for everyone. I want you to go to the comments and talk. Talk about whatever. things that have been weighing you down recently, things that have been making you not feel like yourself, um, anything at all. Just find solidarity in any kind of companionship within this little microcosm of the internet. Just, just give me something. Give the world something, even if it's small or even if it's massive. I don't care. Just say something. Make yourself known and try and do what I'm doing. Try to practice this self reassurance and this, I don't know, rant style. Just be able to be vulnerable, I guess. I'm gonna stop before I get too ahead of myself and continue talking for another 20 minutes. But yeah, thank you. I've got Jeff Buckley on right now, and he was great. Really, really great. I recommend Jeff Buckley. I recommend The Isle. My favorite movie of all time is Schizopolis, which is made by the guy who made Ocean's 11. Crazy. Hope you guys check that out. Just want to throw that out there. That's it. Yeah, thanks guys for listening. If you did, dislike this video, dislike the fuck out of this video or something. I don't know. Just do something. Just do something. Thanks guys for being there, and I'll catch you next time. Sorry.